Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Jessica Rich. I am a senior leader in corporate America. I am a certified life coach and also the CEO of a health and wellness company, Getting Finer LLC. I'm so excited that this is episode 1 of Leaving a Rich Legacy with Jessica Rich. Now, you've already probably seen the intro. If you have not, I'll drop that link in the description and I'll include that. But this podcast came about just through my own healing journey. So for those of you who have been a part of my Women's Improvement Call, in the month of August, we had a guest who was a therapist, and she was actually my first therapist, and we talked about the power of healing. Through the work that we did in therapy and just the breakthroughs that I was having, I remember she said that, one day you're going to write a book. And I actually have written a book. It's an ebook on that you can find on my website, gettingfiner.com. But there were just so many things that we talked about and that I really, really did the work. You know, she would give me homework. I wrote letters to both of my parents. There were things that we talked about when it came to my issues with financial security. You know, one of my non-negotiables in a relationship is financial stability. And it's not to say that people can't grow and become more financially stable. It's not anything to say that I'm currently financially stable and I've done the work, but it's a part of my trauma, my childhood trauma, and the way I was raised, where that's a trigger for me. And it's something that through my therapy work, I had to accept. And there are so many other things that I addressed, the relationships with my siblings and boundaries, and am I taking on the responsibilities of tasks that wasn't given to me, or were they given to me and is it time to give it back? But through that work, I have come to a place where I am so in love with myself. I'm at peace. I'm happy. I wake up happy. You know, I remember one of my girlfriends, my best friend, which we've been childhood best friends, but you know, one morning we were sending audio messages and I had to be to work early. So I think I was like, you know, sending messages at like 6 a.m. And she's like, why do you just sound so happy and refreshed and recharged? When you're at a place where you are healing, and I say healing because we'll never be fully healed, but when you're healing and you're addressing your trauma and you're understanding your triggers and you're really, really focusing on yourself, you just naturally can get to a place where things don't bother you. You're happy. You wake up happy. You know, I don't always consistently do my self-care routines the same way every day. So in the mornings, you know, there's been a time where I was very, very strict on spending time specifically on positive affirmations. And I don't always do that every day, but I'm at a place when I wake up, I start my daily devotional time, my positive YouTube videos, but I'm happy to wake up. And what I mean by that is there were times in my life where you ever feel like the alarm clock goes off and you're like snooze, 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 snooze. I would snooze 5 to 10 times at some points. And it wasn't that I didn't want to be alive, but I was at a place in my life when I was unhappy. And now I don't snooze that much. You know, I don't even really think I snooze at all. But, you know, I'm at a place in life that when it's time to start my day, I'm in a better place. Not to say I'm in a position where I want to be, but I'm happy where I am. And through this journey, one thing that my therapist and I talked about was, Jessica, you're here now. You desire to be married. So I'm here now. You desire to be married. You desire to have children. What happens if you don't get there where you want to be? What happens in that in between? How do you accept that? How do you embrace that that may not be your reality? And I really had to sit in that because we all know it's a possibility, right? That it may not happen, but like really having to sit and talk to yourself and accept that, I had to really think about what happens if you never get that? What if that's not God's plan for you? And that's one of the things through therapy work that really, really helped me to embrace my single season and really understand why it's important to be happy with myself. And I think I'm there. I would think so. It feels authentic. It doesn't feel like I'm forcing myself to do anything just to say, oh, I'm single and I'm happy. Can't you see I'm happy? Like, I feel like I'm really happy. I know that I'm happy. When I go to bed at night, I feel refreshed and relaxed. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to get my day started. And some mornings are earlier than others. If you've watched, you know I'm working out with my trainer. If you watch my YouTube or you're familiar with it. But this podcast is an opportunity to talk to the younger Jessica and say, hey girl, these last 2.5 years, all those things that you're still worried about, all those things that keep you up late at night, all those things that you're concerned and scared, I got us. This is what this podcast is to do, to say that I got us. And it's topics and, interacting with others who are in my life, my friends and families that I want them to be a part of this. But it's letting that younger Jessica know that although there are some things that you did not know, although there's some conversations we did not have, although when you know better, you do better, and sometimes you still don't do better, it's okay. I'm letting her know that I'm giving her the grace. I am showing her compassion. I am bringing her along this journey of where I am today, where I'm happy to be me. I'm happy to be single right now. I'm happy where I am with my career. I'm happy where I am with life coaching and my business. I'm at a place where I never thought I would be because I didn't dream of that I could have all of these things. And it's so important for me to tell the younger Jessica and bring her along so she knows we are good, girl. We got this. There's going to be some obstacles. There's going to be some hurdles, but together we got this. So this podcast means so much to me. It's been a long time coming. My current therapist told me earlier this year I got too much on my plate. Something got to be paused. And that's also a part of boundaries. When you put boundaries in place, sometimes you have to place boundaries with yourself, because we think about everyone else in our life and boundaries here, boundaries there. But yeah, sometimes we have to say no to ourselves. And it just felt natural that this was the time to get this podcast going. I am the most busiest that I have been in years, juggling my 9 to 5 with more responsibilities. I'm working out 4 to 5 days a week. I'm, managing my life coaching business and my brand. And here I am adding this podcast. But the time is now. It's time to have these conversations. It's time to make an impact on other women, other Black women, other single women, other people in the Black community, other people who may be afraid to really talk and have a relationship with their younger selves. Hopefully the topics and conversations we have on this podcast will help you tell your younger self, you know what? We're good. We're going to be all right. Writing that letter to your younger self, forgiving your younger self, forgiving yourself right now, whatever it is. I hope that this podcast will help you have the closure that you need, to give you the courage to forgive, to give you the courage to have the conversations with your parents, your family, your friends that you just didn't have the courage to, and to also help you to realize that you are not alone on this journey of life. You're not alone on some of the things that you face, that you feel like, why me? This can't be reality. I feel stupid because I did this. We've all made mistakes. Don't be so hard on yourself. I hope this podcast is an opportunity for you to give yourself some grace, some self-forgiveness, to remind yourself how beautiful you are, how worthy you are, how deserving you are, and that you are worth what's on the other side of healing. So leaving a rich legacy with Jessica Rich, it's more than about finances. It's about leaving the legacy for the next generation and us being able to do things differently based on what we know now, based on our capacity, and really setting up the next generation for success. I want to leave a generation legacy for my nieces, my nephews, and I pray to God, my children too. So thank you so much for watching episode one. Thank you for listening to episode 1 if you're on the podcast, on Anchor. But I am just so excited for this to finally be kicked off. And if there's any topics that you would like us to talk about, please submit email at info@jessicarich.com.